What's up guys, welcome to Savage Reviews. I'm your host xSavageMentality. Today I'm here to talk about Air Fortress for the Nintendo Entertainment System. I don't see very many reviews on this game, and I don't hear a whole lot of people talking about it, but I personally think that it's a hidden gem on the NES. First off, the Air Fortresses are taking over planet Farmel, and you, as this lonely spaceman named Hal, have to stop the entire process and become the hero. And it's a very generic story, but at the same time, I didn't play a lot of these NES games for story, when I was a kid. It was all about the gameplay, which is where I think this game excels. There's two different types of gameplay. There's the R-type style shooter at the beginning section of each level, and then there's an explorational style where you're the spaceman inside the Air Fortress. On the R-type style of levels, there's one hit damage, meaning you get hit once, you're dead. 3 lives, game over. Okay, but at the same time, there's a 4-letter password system. So even if you die and you want to come back to the game later, it's not hard. You don't have to put in 30 fucking letters with, a capital O that looks like a 0 and all that kind of shit with symbols. 4-letter password. Very simple, very good pro for this game. The controls are very simple, and the R-type style shooter level, it's just moving around like you would with an R-type, and you have 2 buttons to shoot and B both do the same thing. During this process of this level, you're going to be collecting B's for bombs for later on in the Air Fortress, and you're going to collect E for energy. And your energy is only something that you worry about in the Air Fortress itself. The difficulty for this section is varied by the later levels. And 1 and 2, it's pretty simple. 3 to 8, extremely tough because more things are coming at you, and it's all about timing and reflex and remembering the patterns. Once you get into the Air Fortress itself, there's a gravity mechanic, meaning it always wants to pull you to the bottom of the screen. So you have to hold up to float up, obviously. But then when you let the button go, it'll pull you down to the bottom of the screen. The whole time you're moving in the underground world, the energy meter will be dropping. So if your energy is starting at 700 and you're floating around, it goes down 690, 680, 670. And then when you stop moving around, it will generally go back up to its original starting point. Unless you've taken damage from an enemy, and then it just obviously is going to deplete. But this is where the gameplay becomes more challenging, because sometimes the levels are fairly long. So you can't just go long stretches without stopping and letting your health replenish, because if you had 650 and you floated around to 100 and then you get hit twice, you could be dead. So you always have to use that strategy of like, okay, I'm not sure what's going to happen next, so I'll stop here for a second, let my energy get back up, and then continue on your journey. But I think that's a great integration of strategy versus gameplay versus the overall objective of each level. And the overall objective of each Air Fortress is basically to find the generator and blow it up. Now the generator is just a little orange glowing ball, very generic, but that's not what I think this game is great for. Yes, it's very generic in its story and some of the aspects of it, but this game is so challenging and so fun and addictive that I think that it's a very overlooked game. And it's super cheap. This game is like maybe $5 for a cart only, and maybe 10 to 15 for a box version. So you're scoring either way if you pick this game up, and it's cheap, right? So I highly recommend this game. The graphics are okay for their time. It came out in September of '89 for us. I think it came out in '87 over in Japan, so they had a little bit of a leap on us. So it was a pretty early title for them. But we didn't get it until 1989, so you can kind of complain that the graphics should be a little better, which I would agree with. The same with the sound. The levels have their own original soundtracks, but it can get a little repetitive and it can get a little annoying. But at the same time, it's a 1989 Nintendo game, so you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. You're going to sacrifice graphics for great gameplay sometimes. You're going to sacrifice great gameplay to have all these other things involved, like your great music and all these other things. But I honestly think that this game's gameplay stands out, and I think that it's well worth your attempt at playing it. Emulate this game if you have to, just to test it out before you buy it. But because it's such a cheap title, don't worry about the $5. Just take my word, go out and buy this game and actually test it out and play it yourself, because I think you're going to really enjoy it. I think you're going to have a lot more fun with it than you'd expect. If you're into R-Type, you'll definitely dig the beginning stages. and if you're into exploring and just sort of a different style of gameplay instead of having it the same over and over and over, definitely check this game out because it does branch off and has different things to do. So from now on my channel, I'm going to be plugging one channel a week, and then I'll have all the other channels below in the description. So this week's channel of the week is Bawesome Burf. I know this guy personally, Jason Petit. I've been friends with him on Facebook for quite a while. We met through the Happy Console Gamer page. This guy's channel is awesome. He talks a lot about role-playing games, and he builds lots of stuff with Lego, and he's fucking fantastic at it. So definitely go check out his channel, friend him on Facebook, and check out some of his pictures because he's an excellent artist when it comes to Lego. So definitely check his channel out. I'm going to be plugging all sorts of crazy channels on here from now on. I think that as the gaming community grows, we need to help it grow, and we need to help get everyone else noticed because YouTube's a big place. It doesn't need just 10 people, telling you the same 5 stories all week that you've already heard a million times. You don't need that anymore. If you want gaming news, for sure, go and watch those types of channels. But if you're looking for passionate, dedicated people who just love to make YouTube videos and talk about underrated gems like Air Fortress, cheap plug, definitely start supporting the community a little bit more because these people need your help. We can't just, get noticed by these big channels if no one's spreading the word about everybody's channels, you know what I mean? So we gotta do this as a community. So definitely check out all those channels, guys. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for like 10 channels. Definitely check out Bawesome Burf, and I'll leave a description about his channel and a link down here. And until next time, sometimes you got a game like a savage to win.